a Hall of Fame version of the Fenway Rundown. I'm Chris Cotillo, Sean McAdam alongside. Sean was somebody who covered our next guest for most of his career, at least, for all the time in Boston. We have Pedro Martinez back on the show. Pedro, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure going back and bringing back memories.
For you, I know you come down here pretty much every year, work with the players on the current team. What is, in your words, the 2025 version of the Red Sox? How do they look so far?
I think it's intriguing. This is an intriguing team. I think we got enough talent to actually surprise anybody in the league and in the World Series. We just need to have everything go our way, and believe it or not, have some things go wrong for the other teams.
Right.
Pedro, a lot of work was done to bolster the pitching staff here in the offseason, both in the rotation and the bullpen. Wondering your thoughts. I mean, the big acquisition, the big name over the winter is Garrett Crochet, the guy that they've kind of identified as the number one starter they were looking for a long time. What are your thoughts on him and what he might be able to do here?
Well, I don't want to really put too much pressure on Crochet. I think we have guys that have been capable of doing whatever, but I love the diversity. I love what we show. I love what we have, the righties, the lefties, the combinations that we have, and the same thing in the bullpen. I haven't yet gotten the opportunity to see them in games, but I love the names and I love what I have seen from them so far, especially late in the bullpen. I like the diversity that we have there, the talent that we have, and guys that come in with a lot more experience. I remember last year my concern was, how can we get these guys to actually understand what enduring an entire season is? And it concerned me the entire year, and yes, it did happen. The guys got tired a little bit. They did an outstanding job, and I'm extremely proud of them. But this season just caught up with them. They have never been exposed to so much work, and this year I'm a lot more optimistic than I was last year. We got Bregman, champion. We got Devers, champion. We got now a whole bunch of guys with a lot of experience. Some of those guys have been around the league for a long time. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good team. It's just that the names probably don't match the Dodgers or don't match the Yankees, but I think our team is really intriguing.
What advice would you give Crochet as a guy stepping into the spotlight here, expected to be the ace or the front of the rotation guy?
I would just say rely on your teammates. Don't think you have to do it all. Rely on the rest of the staff. Tanner Houck, I think, is a perfect guy to kind of mingle with him, to let him know. One big advice I'll give him is answer little, do a lot. Don't pay attention to the media. Answer your questions professionally, and give them the time they need to have, but no more than that. And just embrace Boston. Embrace Boston like Boston is going to embrace him.
You, through your work on TV and everything you've done, you've seen a lot of Walker Buehler over the years, a guy that's been in big spots, including in the fall. What have your impressions of him been from afar during his time in LA?
I love Buehler. I love his heart. I love his demeanor. I love to see him healthy, because he's a guy that I would pay money to watch, honestly. Just because I've seen his demeanor on the mound and how he attacks hitter, and he wants to win. He's a competitor, and that leads sometimes to him getting injured because he wants to leave it all out there. I would love to see him healthy the entire year, bring his experience, his IQ of the game, how he reads the game. A guy that's flexible to do anything, but we're going to have to protect him from himself sometimes.
And you touched on this, but Bregman, another guy with a lot of playoff experience, a lot been on that national stage. What can he bring?
All that experience, and at the same time, everything you can ask from a player if he's healthy. He can run, he can field with the best of it, can be an MVP caliber kind of player. We just need him to be healthy. And I know he's going to love Boston. We drafted him and we couldn't get him. But now we have him. Now he gets to enjoy Boston, and once he reads how the people embrace their players, and Bregman is one of those that loves to be embraced by the fans and get caught in the emotions. I think he's gonna really love Boston. So I'm expecting him to kind of lead by example, the rest of the guys, and I hope they all, pick his brain, because this guy has been a really good player for a long, long time and a very consistent player.
Pedro, you talked a lot about some of the young starters that you saw take big steps last year. The guy that maybe you've worked most closely with in that group is Brian Bayo. What do you see him being able to do as a step forward in his second full season here?
I think Bayo has the opportunity to now relax, understand he's secure, his family's here finally. I think Bayo needs to rely on the rest of the guys and do as much as he can, but not really force himself as much as he did before. He felt like he needed to carry some of the load for the team, which is very, very unfortunate for a young kid like that to make that kind of effort. Now he can actually sit back, learn, and relax around the other guys and exchange experience, especially with guys like Crochet and Tanner Hout that have been around, Walker Buhler, pick his brain. Why? Mingle with them. And I think that's going to help the entire staff.
You've talked about, and your friend David Ortiz especially has talked about, he always says, show me the money when it comes to big free agent additions. The Red Sox have always been big spenders the last few years. It's not been the way they've done things. Do you feel like with the additions of Crochet, Bregman, Buhler, the aggressive offseason, that the Red Sox are back in business in a way?
I believe so. If anybody stumbles in the East, I think we're going to be the next team chasing around. I know Baltimore has a lot of talent. Toronto has a lot of talent. But man, if anybody stumbles, the Yankees are mighty Yankees like always. But our pitching, our defense is going to be improved this year. And we have more experience now than we did last year. They knew that these guys were going to give up at some point, or the season was going to catch up to some of those guys. But this year, you got to be careful. If we happen to go healthy all year with the kind of arms we have and the kind of bullpen we have, we could give a lot of these teams in the East a lot of headaches. And not only in the East, in the postseason, maybe, if we cut off a little bit on the defense, because that's what affected us last year. I think just not having proper defense was a big, humongous low part for the team.
You talked about the back end of the bullpen. There is not yet an appointed closer. It could be Hendricks, it could be Chapman, it could be Slayton, it could be any number of guys. How do you look at the 8th and 9th inning here, and who might be best suited to close out games?
I really need to see the players that are going to be coming up in the 9th inning and see who matches better. And I'm pretty sure the entire team and the analytics department have a pretty good idea of who to bring in the 9th inning. The thing is, you need to communicate with those guys and let them know what their roles are and when their roles are going to be put into play. I think Chapman deserves a lot of respect. He's done it for a long time. Hendricks has done it for a long time as well. Hasn't been healthy lately, but Slayton is another guy that I believe could close games. Just communicate it well with them. Make sure you have a good communication when it comes to doing that, because you don't want to find them pulling for his side or pulling to the other side or not feeling comfortable doing this or that. They have to know that all three of them are going to be capable of closing games at a certain point, depending on how the analytics department believes it could happen.
So could you envision like a closer by committee situation here, where it isn't necessarily the same guy every time in the 9th?
No, I wouldn't say that, because some of those guys are so used to doing it. And if you have a guy that goes 8 in a row and hasn't really stumbled yet, and it doesn't matter if it's righty or lefties, you have to give him the opportunity to close those games every time he shows up. So what I would say is, when the opportunity pops up, just take it, grab it. I would love to have one that's steady, that's not gonna give it up, that's not gonna stumble, and that will be my closer. But this is not the situation. We have a guy that has been hurt. Chapman comes from a couple of years where he stumbled a little bit, but then he showed what he could do. Once again, a lot of experience. And you have Slatton who hasn't done it yet, but could do it. So you have to wait and see how everything develops, and then after that, you just have your choice.
You obviously, as I touched on, have the media jobs. You work for the Red Sox. Obviously, you're very in tune with what's going on. How many Red Sox games do you watch a year?
Every one I can.
Yeah.
Every one I see on television. As soon as I turn on the TV and I'm not working, the first thing I do is look for a Red Sox game and I try to watch them because I care about these guys. Honestly speaking, I care about these guys, and I care about the city, and I care about the team. I'm not saying it, to flatter anybody. I'm just saying it because I feel it, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I like I said earlier, I will say Crochet, answer the questions that you have to answer. That's it. But don't pay attention to what's written. Don't pay attention to what's said. Just concentrate on your game. And I think he's going to be fine. This kid is smart, specimen of a human being. I'm impressed with what I've seen so far. I hope he does well because Boston needs a guy like that.
Our last thing for you is just because Sean and I were having this debate a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
If they gave you a month to get ready for a season, right now at 53 years old, what could you do in a major league season in 2025?
In a major league season?
How well would you pitch?
I have no idea, because you got to get in between the white lines. But I could only be probably one inning guy, and maybe not as hard. Right now, I know how to get it done. Maybe get out of situations, kind of guys, specialists. But I'm not gonna try it. Believe me, I'm not trying it. No. That's a no. But I especially now that I have been able to run and do stuff, my arm is healthy. I could probably pick up the ball and just go out there and pitch, in my league or senior league or whatever. But no, I'm not gonna try it.
Pedro, it's been a few years since the postseason has visited Boston, and people are kind of caught up in a Red Sox season, 2 losing seasons and a 500 year. What would it be like to have October baseball back at Fenway and the city excited about a Red Sox team again? It's been a while.
They should be excited right now. The Red Sox are doing what they need to do. I mean, it's not going to be like we're going to go about, but we tried Soto. We tried everybody pretty much out there. We ended up with Crochet, and we ended up with Buhler, which is a huge advance for a team that really needed it. We needed more experience between the starting rotation. We needed more arms in the bullpen. We got them. So Boston should be excited. Now let's see how everything develops. Now it's up to us to put it all together, synchronize it, and find the best 9 guys that are going to be out there every single day. And Boston should be excited because I don't believe this team is a handout team. This team is really good. It's really good. The problem is times have changed, the salaries have changed, and the names have grown up. So we just have to wait and see what these guys are going to do and how healthy we are to go and do what we need to do. But Boston should be excited about this team.
The great Pedro Martinez. It's always a thrill to talk baseball with you, Pedro, and we appreciate the time to stop by and spend a few minutes with us.
All right, Sean, it's a pleasure, always. Yeah.